Twice? More like infinity. If there's no plan to contain Twice and his clones after this psychological breakthrough, then the Liberation Army really screwed up. What's up? It's Truth Hero, and welcome back to yet another fabulous chapter of My Hero Academia. Today, we'll be discussing Boku no Hero Academia chapter 230 of the manga. Everything from Twice's amazing Quirk to this mysterious character named Apocrypha, and of course, DABI'S weakness. Let's dive in. The chapter opens with the limits of Twice's doubling quirk. He needs both data and a mental image in order to form a clone. Usually these are just measurements, but I guess for the Yakuza bullets, Twice would need to know the chemical compound, kind of like how Yaoyorozu's quirk works. Don't worry Twice, you'll return that favor and help your friends. Unlimited Twice seems amazing, and I'm a huge fan. They will be weaker since they're clones, but they can easily overpower any opponent just by swarming them. They seem like a very formidable threat, especially with the fact that they have 20,000 members. But given all this, I still have a few questions. Number 1. Twice clearly states in the beginning of the chapter that he can't create anything new until the first or number 1 object disappears, so his max is 2. So then how did he make 20,000 of himself? My only logic for this is that the clones would have to be able to make copies of themselves, and this rule of the doubling quirk wouldn't apply since each clone is using their doubling quirk for the first time. So, for example, with a really bad reference, this is Twice. He makes 2 more of himself. Now, he can't make any new objects, but these two can since they haven't used the doubling quirk yet, and they make 2 more of themselves. My other question is, can Twice actually control this? We know he is over his trauma, and we know he knows that he is truly himself, but if Gigantomachia and the Liberation Army don't kill all these clones, then what? How does Twice dissolve all these copies? As we just stated, the quirk doesn't apply here since it's a new person or clone using the doubling quirk for the first time. So, how does Twice stop this unlimited multiplication? Quality over quantity. Twice even admits that the clones of himself and of those clones will be weaker, although they're still very strong in his personality. But will they be able to take on a whole battalion of soldiers that the Liberation Army has at their disposal? Redestro seems to doubt this, and he's quite confident in this mysterious person named Apocrypha. We'll talk about Apocrypha a bit later, but for now, let's focus on Snowjacket's and possibly Apocrypha's observation of our blue-flamed villain. Like so many in the My Hero Academia universe, DABI'S quirk doesn't fit his own body. His skin is weak to his flames. His skin is patchworked because prolonged use of his cremation quirk actually burns his own flesh. If anyone reads the Fire Force manga, I believe the term they use is tephrosis. Also, you guys should totally check out that anime when it premieres in July, because it's gonna be straight fire. And yes, I'll be covering it. In a previous chapter, we learned that Shoto's brother, Toyosatomimi, had, quote, a weak constitution, and couldn't handle his own firepower, which was actually greater than Shoto's. Also, note that this patchwork Dabi dons occurs in the same places where Endeavor wears his flames, minus the 2 little crescents under Dabi's eyes. Perhaps Toyosatomimi tried to be exactly like his father, but with blue flames that simply overheated and burned his body, leading him to actually cover it up with this patchwork. At this point, if Dabi's not Shoto's brother, it would just be weird, and Horikoshi would be a huge troll. Dabi, unfortunately, without any cooling ability, is doomed by the heat of his own quirk. But perhaps he can adapt and change. Like the other League of Villains members have leveled up their quirks, maybe Dabi can do something similar. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Can Dabi find a way to use his quirk without burning himself? Apocrypha. Who is this? Is this the name of the cryokinesis user, Snowjacket? Regardless of who it may be, we learn that Snowjacket can manipulate the temperature of ice as well. This means they can change the temperature of ice they move to be so cold that it freezes any water or really anything it touches, thus making more ice if it's in water for this ability. Just how cold can Snowjacket actually go? Technically, they could do this with water vapor in the air by simply floating around super cooled ice cubes and gradually adding to its volume. This is a very powerful special ability with seemingly no drawbacks like DABI'S quirk. Dang, what if Snowjacket did this with someone's blood? This gives me Avatar vibes. Snowjacket also mentions the society that the Liberation Army is trying to construct, where one's social standing is all dependent on the power of one's special ability. Personally, if you had to ask me, this doesn't seem too liberating for the quirkless, or people with weak special abilities. Mr. Compress mentions something very interesting about Snowjacket, that he's an outlier. He's more strategic and lethal than some of the other Liberation Army executives like Chitose. He goes so far as to destroy his own Liberation Army soldiers just to cancel out some of Twice's clones. To me, he seems more independent and sort of a renegade person. Maybe he's not all about the Liberation Army. Maybe he's actually Natsuo Todoroki, Shoto's brother. But let me know what you guys think. What is Snowjacket's next move? There is another possibility for Apocrypha, which is its literal definition. It means a text that is attributed to something but not confirmed. Sort of a pseudo, if you will. Redestro could be talking about Twice here, since Twice makes copies and clones of things, and they still want him on the Liberation Army. As we saw, Skeptic sort of stormed out when Redestro called him out and said he failed, so maybe he still wants to enact phase 2 of his plan to win over Twice. Whoever this Apocrypha character is, I hope that they or Snowjacket end up fighting Gigantomachia. Maybe they have enough power to freeze the giant in his tracks. But oh my gosh, Gigantomachia has awakened, and way earlier than his alarm was set to go off. Seriously, this guy is skipping out on summer vacation to help the League of Villains.
Did you see those Huns? They popped out of the snow! Like daisies!
At the end of the chapter, we see Gigantomachia prematurely wake up. The Doctor sees that the League of Villains aren't doing so well, and doesn't want All for One to look bad by association, so he's sending in the big guns, which is perfectly fine with me. Bring on the carnage. Now, it will be interesting to see how he plays a role in this, because there's about 20,000 Twice clones, there's a Liberation Army, and of course the other League of Villains members that are waiting to fight, or waiting to be rescued. This is going to be a huge battle, and I also can't imagine that the heroes wouldn't find out something about this. But, should be a fun fight. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Can Dabi somehow adapt to his quirk? Who the hell is this Apocrypha character? And what happens when Gigantomachia shows up? Comment below. If you guys like My Hero Academia content and these manga chapter reviews, consider enrolling at UA today by clicking the subscribe button down below. And until next time, plus ultra.